Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hi, I am so excited to have with us today our fabulous, one of our latest Reshape Method graduates, Patrice. So awesome to have you here, Patrice. How are you? You want
Thank
to say
you.
hi, let people know where you are in the world? And yeah.
Yeah, I am in Orlando, Florida, and it's beautiful and sunny here. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming to chat to us today. You are the last speaker this week because we have been running our 5-day walking challenge, the Reshape Your Walk challenge, which is tons and tons of fun, and we're learning how to walk properly. So I'd love to know, have you done a walking challenge before, first of all? And also, what drew you to be interested in the Reshape method?
Well, it was actually the walking challenge, and I did do the walking challenge twice and signed up for the full program just before the second challenge began. So yeah, it was the walking challenge, definitely, and listening to the information that you gave us about improving musculature in your legs, and that really is what got me interested in the Reshape method.
Right. And what were you struggling with before you started the Reshape method?
Well, last year at this time, I took my first trip to Europe in a number of years, and I realized that I couldn't walk like I used to. I love traveling, I love walking, and I just didn't feel I couldn't keep up with my daughter. First of all, I was lagging behind, and that was new, and I didn't really realize how much my stride had changed, and how slow I felt and heavy and just lethargic I felt walking. So I wanted to change that, to improve my strength, improve my health in general, and also to lose weight.
And what about what you heard me say about the Reshape method and about my approach? What about that kind of piqued your interest?
Well, when you started talking about the push when you're walking, I just was experimenting with that a little bit, the first walking challenge. Of course, I couldn't really do it yet because my hamstrings and my glutes were very out of shape, and I didn't realize that. So it was like an aha moment, because I realized that that's why nothing was working for me. My normal workout routines were too difficult for me to do. My walking was slow, and it was because everything had kind of atrophied, maybe during COVID, and for like a couple years before that.
Right. And what did you find? Did you have aha moments when you were doing the Reshape method? What did you learn that you weren't expecting?
Well, the first thing I learned that I wasn't expecting was that doing those I did your exercises, the workouts that you have in the program, pretty faithfully, and I could feel my strength increasing. And then it was I don't even know how far into the program I was, maybe like 3 weeks into the program, when I started to feel that pushing off happening when I was walking. And I noticed that the amount of distance that I could cover was increasing during the same, like, 30-minute is my normal walking time. And but then I started to really focus on some of the other things you were talking about, some more of the subtleties about trying to not pop my ribs forward and trying to engage my core. And we did the second private consultation where you explained how to use the balloon to get your lower core to kick on. And I realized mine was non-existent. And you had me start, back at a very beginning point to work on that. And my posture is different at this point. I've been seeing a myofascial release person, and the difference in my the way that I stand or lay is completely different from doing those exercises, and just getting those muscles strengthened so that I could actually relax them. It's kind of weird how I didn't really realize that having no musculature would make it so that it's almost like you were too tight, but really there was not much going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That is such a good point to make, that often our tightness or our pain is not because we need more strengthening, more stretching. We actually need more strengthening and more functional strength, right? Which
Right.
we can then find through our alignment. So are there any kind of like everyday things in your life that you can now do or do more easily than you couldn't do? Are there aches and pains that have resolved?
Absolutely. I was having a lot of trouble sleeping. All of this sort of started when I had a hysterectomy. So I really didn't know what the origin of my problem was, but the reality was it manifested itself in gaining 50 pounds and not being able to sleep at night, just having these terrible kind of like ghost-like pains in my legs. It wasn't localized to a particular spot. It just kind of moved around, but nevertheless, it kept me awake. And, from strengthening my legs, those are gone. I very rarely lose sleep because of feeling, some sort of pain. If I have a pain now, it's because I've been working on the muscles and, I feel it in the side of my hip still, I'm still doing your workouts, because as you go through, you can apply more of what you're learning to the workouts. And I'm still continuing to gain strength in all those areas. But yeah, so definitely sleep is 100% better than it was before. So which also makes me able to relax, like learning about the breathing methods and learning how to, calm down my nervous system. So, because I, had some anxiety and things like that. And so that's been very helpful, the breathing. Also, my range of motion in my arms is different. I've had, at the beginning, I couldn't really do the arms on the ground from between 9 and 12. And just by doing the workouts and concentrating on getting those areas to move, I have a lot more mobility in my shoulders and my arms.
Mm-hmm. And how does that feel, kind of like into your neck? And does that affect, like, has that had a knock-on effect for your ability, to be able to focus on your work, just feeling better in your body?
Absolutely. And I would say that, when you're not feeling too great and you sit in a chair all day, you kind of just end up feeling more achy and more, it's difficult to concentrate if you're not feeling your best. And I've since moved my workstation. In fact, I'm sitting on the floor right now. So I stand, I sit, I go to the floor, I Z sit while I'm working, I B sit while I'm working. Mm-hmm. And that feels wonderful. And it also feels great to feel like I have something extending me up this way rather than pushing me down. Mm-hmm. And so I'm schlumping in front of my computer.
Absolutely. And just for people who aren't, familiar with the Reshape method, we're taking this different way of moving. We're moving from an exerciser mindset to a mover mindset, right? Because what you do on the mat in the Reshape method workouts, those are really important for reshaping your body, improving your alignment so that you're generally working better. But what's happening with our body for the other 23 and a half hours of the day is even more important, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it's helped my sleep. It's helped, my feeling more energetic while I'm working. But mostly, I mean, the difference when I'm walking is night and day. My daughter came for a visit this summer in August, and we were walking around here around my house. It's very hot outside in August. But I was able to, I mean, not that I would say I could keep up with her. She is a long distance runner and has a huge stride. But I was able to not hold her back. Like she just adjusted her pace to mine, and it was a good pace.
Yeah. Fantastic. So how would you describe the Reshape method to a friend?
I would say that it's both restorative, but also preventative, and the best kind of self-care you could give yourself. I tried so many things, which I'm sure a lot of people our age group have done the same, like try so many different things to figure out why your body is changing at this time of your life, or it feels like there are big changes in your body. And, it's sometimes we don't spend money or time on ourselves. We're still taking care of other people, our parents, our adult kids, or our growing kids. And, it was the best thing to take that effort for myself, because I feel like I'm better as a daughter and a a parent and just a human being. Now that, I'm feeling better about myself, I'm feeling more strong, and like I'm not, I was feeling like I had to give up on a lot of the things that I love to do. And that's all changed for me. So.
Oh, that is so wonderful. That is just so, so wonderful. Did you have any hesitations before joining the program?
Honestly, the only hesitation at first was just the cost and the time, because I thought I hesitate to spend money in that way when it's just for me. And then I thought about all the other things that I do. I had small subscriptions here, there, and everywhere to all these different types of programs, and none of them had worked for me. I bought a ton of books and read them, and I couldn't put the information together myself. I really needed your expertise to help me make it very clear of what I needed to do to resolve this. And it was, that was my only hesitation at the beginning, and it was 100% worth it. So yeah. And now I have full-time access to this program for the rest of my life. So I'm still using it. It's, I might be a graduate, but I'm continuing to grow and learn more things every time I watch one of the workouts or one of your information sessions in the website.
Right, because it is the kind of program that grows and develops as your body changes. Right. It's not the kind of program where you've got to nail it in 12 weeks, start, finish, end. It, as your body changes, the what you're going to get out of it every time is a new experience. So thank you for saying that. And also, what part of the program? There's the online component where the pre-recorded material is, and the workouts that you do in your own time. And then there's the group coaching, which we run weekly, so people can ask questions, and those calls are recorded. And then there's also the private coaching, where I am tailoring the program to exactly what is going on in your body. So if you can maybe just tell us how those three elements came together for you and what your favorite part was.
Well, of course, the private coaching is amazing because you're looking at exactly how our body is aligning on different moves. We can ask you specific questions on things that we're confused about, and you help direct not only how to position your body, but also what you can modify to make it appropriate to you. Like I said, with the breath work, you had taken me all the way back to not even lifting my leg on some of the exercises. I was just imagining that my core was firing at the beginning so that I would do it correctly. And I really appreciated that. So that's my favorite part. But by having the private session, then it makes the workouts, it makes me able to understand the workouts and improve what I'm, my body positioning, because you told me what to do. And then the coaching calls are amazing because other people are always asking questions that you maybe didn't even think of. And sometimes you have the exact question, but other times it's like, oh, I didn't even know to ask that question. And you have people demonstrate. You can do the moves while we're on, as you're listening to the call, and make sure that you're, hitting all the right points and everything. And it's that's invaluable. I've really enjoyed the listening to the coaching calls that are in the group setting.
And they are such fun as well, right? And sometimes we go off on these really, really bizarre tangents.
Right, but they're so helpful because it's just not necessarily something you would think of. It's someone else's specific situation, but we really all can benefit from every part of that. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So what would you say to people who are considering the Reshape method, not really sure if it's the right next step for them? What would you say to somebody who's on the fence and considering it?
Well, I know that you evaluate everyone to make sure that they're a good fit for the program, but assuming that they are, it's I really can't see how anyone would not be. To be honest, I really feel like the changes that our bodies go through at this particular age apply to probably at least 90% of women in this age category. And it's a step that will change your life. It really does. I mean, it's something that's doable. First of all, you absolutely can do it, which I think also is hard to believe before you start. Like, can I actually do this program? You absolutely can. It doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes the willingness to try and go through. And that really was a big thing, is the hope that you get from seeing that you can do these workouts, these 30-minute workouts, 5 days out of the week. Once you work up to that, maybe you do 3 days a week when you start, and then 5 days a week eventually. But you can see that they're actually making changes in your body, and you can feel more healthy and more fit and more powerful, and not feel like your body is falling apart. I mean, it's a huge thing. And I think if you're hesitating, you should give yourself that chance.
Amazing. So what word would you, if there was one word, and I love all those beautiful things that you said, really, it's like making me choke up a bit as well. Yeah. If there was one word that you could say that encapsulates what the Reshape Method gave you, what would that be?
Well, that's tough because I'm torn. Even 2 weeks ago, I would have said power, really, because the power that I feel in my body, walking and moving, is something I've been missing for a couple of years, and it feels so good to have that back. So I would say that power is the one word that would be the most important to me, although there's a lot of hope there too. So
power and hope. Yeah. And I think the two come together, right? Because once you are able to have the physical power and the physical strength in your body, that is what gives you hope. That sense of power, physical power in your body, and emotional empowerment as well. That we really can, as I like to say, take charge of our changing bodies, because they're going to change. There's no getting around that, right? But it's like we almost need new tools to be able to manage and direct that change.
Absolutely, and to feel your balance come back, and just feel more solid on your own feet, and more connected.
Yes.
More connected. When your feet are connected to the ground in a more powerful way, you're also more connected, I think, mentally and emotionally, which it does all go together.
Yeah. And do you think that what you've learned in the Reshape Method and are feeling now in your body, how has that kind of changed what you believe is going to be your aging trajectory?
Well, I think I know how to try to keep my body more fit for the aging process. My mom fell this summer, in a strange fall, and broke her hip. And I noticed her balance issues were bad. And it really, made me think about the fact that I would like to live a long life. My grandmother lived to be 99. My other grandmother lived to be almost 90. So I would definitely like to live a long life, but I'd like to be able to be stable and, be there for my family, as well as I age. So I feel like I have the tools to do that now. I really do. I know what I need to do, and I enjoy doing it. So yeah, I'm excited about aging. I mean, I feel like aging is not as scary as it was.
Oh, that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us about your experience. We just love having you as part of the community. And I love that, that we are members for life. And thank you again for as I like to say to people, for taking a step out of the conventional exercise box, because what we do is a little bit unconventional, but it gives you the results that you're looking for, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I thank you so much for developing the program. And I appreciate, finding you and being a part of it.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming to chat to us. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Bye.